Hello, everybody, and welcome to this AFC South Show 139 Wildcard Round Preview here on Curtis's Podcast Network. I'm the host of the channel. My name is Curtis Brown. With me, as always, our resident Jacksonville Jaguars fan, Isaiah Michele, a.k.a. Duval's finest, the Glitter Kitty Conquistador, and you can find him on onlyjags.com or within shouting distance. So, we're going to be breaking down all the wild card round, and we'll be primarily focusing on the Browns Texans game. So if you're a Texans fan, come on. This is the home for you during the wild card and hopefully going forward. But a little bit of housekeeping. We are up 6 subscribers from the last episode. It's a huge response on the last episode. 30 plus likes, over 600 views. We're at 425 subscribers. Love to see that number keep climbing. 500 is our next obvious goal, and then 1,000 for monies, because we'd eventually like to be able to, pay some folks. Help us along the way. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content, and let's get into it. So we're gonna save the Texans Browns for last here, but let's go Dolphins Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 4.5 according to FanDuel Sportsbook, and the over-under 44 even. So, Isaiah, who you feeling, Dolphins Chiefs?
I've got the Chiefs winning that game. The Dolphins just haven't convinced me that they could beat anybody good, honestly. At least not consistently. I think that they've just not been doing too hot lately. And, Pat Mahomes just tends to get slobbed on in the playoffs by the officiating and by Roger Goodell. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and the Dolphins are historically bad when playing in sub 40-degree temperatures. I actually heard a stat today that Tua Tagovailoa is 6-13 in games played 70 degrees or below. 7-0, not 7. 70 degrees or lower. He is 6-13. That's interesting.
Okay.
I'm going Kansas City as well. Do you have a score or no? You think it's going to go over under?
What's the line?
44.
I'd say over. I still think Miami puts up points, but I mean it'll be like Bills 38, Dolphins 21, or not Bills, Jesus Christ. Chiefs, yes.
Yeah. I think this game is going to go under. Kansas City's defense is pretty hot. I think the Dolphins are missing some key pieces, especially on the defensive front. Both of their premier edge rushers, Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb, are both torn ACL, so they're done for the year. So they're going to the backups there, and then the Kansas City Chiefs have a decent offensive line when Jawan Taylor's not false starting or lining up in the backfield for no reason. But, under. I'm picking under on that one. So let's go Sunday, 12 o'clock game, Steelers at Bills. The Bills are favored by 10 points, and the over-under here is 36.5. I feel like this game is going to be the Bills pretty much just beating up on the Steelers. I know that this is also probably like prime time for like upset central, but I feel like that's coming later WildCard weekend. I'm going Pittsburgh on this one.
I'm going Bills. I think that they're at least going to win.
Bills. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the Bills are going to at least win one game. Depending on who they play next, we'll see. But I do have the Bills winning this one pretty handily. The Steelers just aren't a good team. They squeaked in when they shouldn't have, just like they did in Big Ben's last year. They haven't, outgained any team this season. It just I don't see them winning this game.
Yeah, 36.5 over under.
Over.
Okay. I'm going to go under. I think this is another cold weather game because could even be potentially raining or snowing even. I'm going under. I think the Bills probably win like 23. Um, Green Bay at Dallas. Dallas is favored by 7 points. Over under 50.5.
Ooh, 50.5.
Yeah.
Oh, who did I pick in the pick'em?
That reminds me. Pick'ems.
Dallas, Green Bay. I picked Dallas.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Green Bay's been pretty hot lately, but I don't think they're hot enough to stop Dallas this coming wild card round. Will Dallas make it farther than the wild card round? Who knows? But will they make it past the next round after? Who knows? But I got Dallas in this one clearing.
Yeah, I've got Dallas as well. I think Dallas has got enough momentum coming in, and Green Bay is just not quite flushed out enough to really make a good deep run here. A pretty young team, if I'm not mistaken, they're the youngest team in the NFL. So I mean, there's going to be some bumps and bruises that come along with that. They kind of squeaked into the playoffs because some other teams lost. So, kudos for making it this far, for having the young squad that you do. But I think it comes to a head today. I'm going to go Dallas, and the over-under is 50.5. I'm going to go over just because I think they'll kind of overhype it to make it like a statement game for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Oh, we're in the playoffs. Here we are. And then they'll actually play somebody and get mollywopped.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like Green Bay does anything special on defense that Dallas can't handle. I could easily see you said it was 40.5?
50.5.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what?
I'm
Fuck
thinking I could see like Dallas like 49-3.
I'll go for the over. I'll say Dallas 45, Green Bay. This goes weird. 17.
Okay. And then the 7:00 game, Rams at Detroit. Now this is a homecoming of sorts for Matthew Stafford, who's coming back to Detroit now. A 3 years after the trade where he ended up getting a Super Bowl ring, and the Detroit Lions got a plethora of first-round draft picks and Jared Goff, who's been playing pretty well for them as of late. The favorite is the Lions by 3, and the over-under is the highest of the weekend, 51.5. Isaiah, who you got?
I'm taking the Lions,
Okay.
but I'm definitely taking the under. I don't see them scoring 51.5 points in this game. I could see honestly with this one, I could see like a 28 13. Nah, I'll do 28-21 Lions.
Okay. I'm thinking that this is one of those games where it's going to be high scoring. The defenses for these two teams are not necessarily without flaws, let's call it. They've been able to be exploited at different times this season. Detroit had a really, really bad game against Baltimore. If I'm the Rams, I'm studying that film. And the Rams have struggled mightily against competitive teams. So I'm thinking the Lions get a revenge win over Matt Stafford. Doesn't really mean much, but
it's kind of funny that they're facing off against each other.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to go over. Let's do Detroit 31. The Rams.
We have been squarely opposite today.
We have. And then the final Monday night game, or the final game of WildCard Weekend on Monday night for some reason, The Eagles traveling to the Buccaneers. Eagles 3-point favorites, over under 43.5. Again, all of this according to FanDuel Sportsbook, subject to change. Who you got?
I took the Buccaneers in this one. I think they're playing pretty hot. Antoine Winfield's been going off for them this year in the back end. They've got a really good pass rush. Their offensive line has consistently been top 5, top 8 all year. Whereas the Eagles were doing awesome, and then they just haven't really done much lately. They haven't really made any noise. They've been on a losing streak here. They've lost a lot of their last couple games. I don't know, man. People are questioning Jalen Hurts. Is he the real deal? Is he not? We'll see. But yeah, I just don't have much faith in them right now. I'm definitely taking them to beat them. The Buccaneers to beat them. 30. I'm taking the over on this one. 31-23.
Okay.
Or 31-24. We'll call it that. 31-24.
Again, we're going to be opposite on this one. I'm going to go under and Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia squeaks by and gets a 20-13 victory. I think this is going to be a very defensive game in the sense of we might see some bad quarterback play. Not necessarily that the defense is just making the plays, just bad quarterback play, generally speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eagles are going to be the ones to survive that, I feel, as they're just a little bit more equipped for that. 20-13 under. So that brings us to the first game on the wild card docket, Saturday, 3:30 Central Time, Browns Texans. The Browns are currently a 2.5-point favorite, and the over-under is 44.5. What are you feeling?
I did choose the Browns to win this one. I just think that, the Browns have been playing insane on defense, just lights out all year. Myles Garrett has had another week to kind of get some more rest after his injury a couple weeks ago, so he's probably going to be close to 100, if not 100%. Joe Flacco has been there and done that. I've got the Browns winning this one. I think it could be a high-scoring game, but also, too, this could be a rare time we see C.J. Stroud shrink. I don't think we will. I think Stroud's still going to come out and do his gunslinging stuff he does. But, just from a outside looking in perspective, I would say Browns are winning maybe 30, 31, 21. Of course, we can talk in a little more detail.
Looking at the Browns injury report right now, they've ruled out Cedric Tillman, Grant Delpit, who was working his way back off IR. He didn't even play the previous matchup, Week 16. Mm-hmm. Denzel Ward hurt his knee in practice today.
Ooh.
And is now questionable to play.
Okay.
Juan Thornhill is questionable. Dustin Hopkins is out, their kicker. Let's see.
They signed to replace him?
I cannot remember his name. If you follow Cody Stutes on Twitter, he actually tweeted about it earlier today. Let's see. Mike Ford, another corner, questionable. That's pretty much it. Everybody else has got a full participation today in practice. So, Joe Bitonio, Corey Bojorquez, Amari Cooper, Joe Flacco, Myles Garrett, Goodwin, Deron Harmon, Shelby Harris, Kareem Hunt, Greg Newsome, Obo Okoronkwo. They are going to be without their starting left and right tackles. Houston is going to be without Jerry Hughes for sure. And then there are 7 players questionable, all of whom were limited participants today in practice. Will Anderson Jr., Noah Brown, Malik Collins, Jonathan Grenard, Sheldon Rankins, Robert Woods, and Andrew Beck.
So the entire D line again.
Yes. However, the last Will Anderson Jr. is going to be rotational like he was last week. Jonathan Grenard, probably the same. Sheldon Rankins and Malik Collins have been on the injury report every week for the last 7 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm not super worried about those guys. One of them usually makes it. It looks like both could go. And then Robert Woods and Noah Brown being back, those are – I think Robert Woods was available when we were Browns, and I believe Noah Brown was too, but we did not have Nico Collins. We did not have C.J. Stroud. We put up garbage time points in a game where Amari Cooper absolutely ate the secondary alive. Joe Flacco had 340 yards passing, and 265 of it went directly to Amari Cooper. So the secret to success for this week is not crazy. It's try the defense at first that you want to run. If Amari Cooper starts to eat, then you move Derek Stingley to wherever that guy is. And then you just call it a day. And that's what the game plan is from that point. Last week against the Colts, the Texans ran more man coverage than they had all year in the first half. That translated to Gardner Minshew not having wide open lanes and windows that are so tight you would think somebody's trying to poop out of it. And Gardner Minshew was not able to make a lot of things happen. He only completed 6 passes by the end of the third quarter. The way to win this week is to get pressure with the guys who are rotating on passing downs, Will Anderson and John Grenard. Hopefully, Rankins and Malik Collins go because we were able to completely annihilate their running game. They could not run the ball against us. If we can get Joe Flacco off of his A game and capitalize on the mistakes that he makes, because even in that game, he threw 2 interceptions. If we can capitalize and C.J. Stroud can manage to do more earlier in the game than Case Keenum or Davis Mills did late in the fourth quarter, then this game is going to be a completely brand new experience between two teams who now know each other a little bit. You got to have something come out of Devin Singletary. You can't not. We got to have more than we did last week, where he had 22 carries for 63 yards. You need more to take the pressure off of the defense and of C.J. Stroud and the passing game. If we can do that and capitalize on Joe Flacco, I think we have a decent shot. That's why I'm going with Houston this week. Houston should pull it out. I'm going to go off the leg of Kaimi Fairbairn. 34-31.
Solid.
I think this will probably be the only win of the postseason, but depending on how everything else shakes out. But this is the one team that I didn't want to play, and we got to play them, and they're good. But you can't let that distract you from the main goal. You can't feel like the moment is too big. And if there's anything about these guys, the first, C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson Jr., they're used to the big stage. Will Anderson Jr. has played well on big stages. C.J. Stroud has played well on big stages, but the rest of his team has collapsed around him, Georgia and Ohio State.
True.
We just got to get the right things happening and the wrong things not happening. It's going to be a lot of energy. I heard tickets already sold out for the game. Should be the most highly attended game for the Texans in the last several years. If you're a Texans fan in the area, this is exciting. I'm not in the area, and I'm excited. I'm already ready for Saturday. It's unfortunate that I'll have to be working.
What time is the game?
3:30.
I'll be at D&D.
Yeah.
I'll have 30 minutes left in D&D.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. That's nice. So if you got any ways to win that maybe the Texans should implore, or maybe that I didn't cover, please drop them in the comment section.
Do it.
Isaiah, do you have any more commentary?
Yeah, and I'm kind of gonna do a little bit for both teams. I'm not, squarely set for either team. I would love to see CJ Stroud and the Texans get a win. I'd love to see old man Joe Flacco get to play against his old team again. There's just a lot of nuances to this game. But yeah, no, I mean, I honestly think the Browns are gonna win. I think the fact that they've a couple of them have been there at least once. Joe Flacco's won a Super Bowl. One thing is you're not going to flap Joe Flacco. You might get some of these other guys. You might get some defensive guys because they're going to have some subs due to their secondary being a little banged up. But you're not gonna get into Joe Flacco's head. He's been drilling everything, throwing dimes off the bench. Njoku's back, right? He's good to go. Yeah, he's been killing it in the second half of the season.
Yep.
But CJ Stroud's looked really good throughout the year, and that's kind of, again, like I said earlier, I don't know if CJ Stroud is going to be able to stay cool, calm, and collected in this playoff game the whole time. I mean, he definitely showed that he could throughout the season, and he showed he could, in the big games in college. So we kind of can see something happen here. I think Nico could have another big week. That would be really good for them. Singletary, like you said, he can't get stopped like that on 22 carries. That's just not enough yards. Hopefully they can open up some more holes for him. But it's going to be interesting seeing how they handle this and who's 100. Who's going, how they're rotating, how often they're rotating. If Will Anderson Jr. can create some pressure, that interior defensive line can keep a push even with a little bit of an injury right now. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting game. I definitely think that it's going to be a fun one to watch, and I just see the Browns winning this one just because of more veteran players, a little more experience at the quarterback position. But I could honestly easily see this game going either way, and I wouldn't be upset with the Texans win. Texans, I've got no problems with the Texans. Fuck the Colts, fuck the Titans. I don't have any problems with the Texans. I like CJ Stroud. I've been high on him. So honestly, it'd be cool either way to see either of those guys get a win.
Okay. I feel like that's a pretty good segue into this last little bit here. We'll call it the passing of the torch. King's Court is now in session, and as the division champ of the AFC South, I would like to say this real quick. One hell of a season. Holy shit. I mean, definitely the team played better than I expected. I was not one of those that was, we're going to have double-digit wins this season. 7 was more realistic in my opinion. But we did better than that, and that's awesome. The Titans were basically just an abysmal mess. The Jags kind of floundered at the end there. And the Colts, again, another overachieving team. I'm excited for the future of this division. We all, at least at the moment, we all seem to have the guy in place. Mm-hmm. And we're quickly becoming one of the more competitive divisions in the NFL after being one of the shittiest for 4 or 5 years. But 7 times division champs, Houston Texans. Congratulations. But yeah, enough of that. If you got any comments, please drop them below. Isaiah, final comments on this pod.
I mean, earlier in the season, I did say, I thought that the Texans were going to be number 2 in the division and that this was going to be a good year for them compared to what other people were saying. I did say it wasn't their year and that we weren't going to put 2 teams in the playoffs. I was right about one of those things. Jacksonville wins the game against them the first time they play and then don't flounder against the Titans. We're in and they're out. But we didn't perform. The Texans did, and they beat the shit out of us early in the season. So honestly, hats off to those guys. Hats off to D'Amico Ryan and D'Amico Ryans, right, with an S.
Yeah.
And hats off to CJ Stroud for proving me right every week by saying he was the best quarterback in the class. I don't think that's changing anytime soon, but I am super excited for the future of the division. We still have to kind of see if Will Levis is the guy. I don't know. I feel like he can be if they build around him correctly. Luckily they booted the other guy out of the building, and they've got a new guy to kind of build some history of how they build this team instead of the old GM. But it'll be interesting to see how everything moves along going forward. But yeah, it is refreshing to see the AFC South as a talking point of, wow, this division's going to be really good for the next couple of years, rather than, wow, they're the worst division in football, blah, 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 Yes, I mean, that's definitely, I mean, I literally saw like some people before the season, some national media people saying that like we shouldn't even get a playoff spot, that like the AFC North should just like get an extra one instead of the AFC South. Just stuff like that. And then we actually kicked the AFC North ass for the most part. So, it's just refreshing to see this division getting better.
Thank God. And look, I literally thought the sky was falling week 2 or 3. Like I was like, pack it in, we're going over. The offensive line was in shambles. Rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, rookie OC, who were occasionally making some management errors, game management errors. But they right the ship, and here we are. 10 wins. We lose that Colts game and end up beating Jacksonville, I think, the next week. CJ Stroud goes on to have probably one of the best rookie quarterback performances in a long time. Number 3 in terms of rookie yards or rookie passing yards in the rookie season.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, autism. And he missed 2 games. So, pretty damn solid. The first Ohio State quarterback in history to start on a playoff team.
Does not surprise me. But like I said, very early in the process, he was the guy. He was the one that was going to change the narrative about Ohio State quarterbacks.
Somebody had to, but I don't necessarily think it's changing the narrative. I think it's just one. I think Ohio State has now entered the realm of the University of Tennessee, where they've got one good guy that came out of the school, and then
yeah, but I think that people are still going to be like, maybe that Ohio State guy, maybe.
Yeah, well, they're not thinking about Kyle McCord right now. I can tell you that.
No clue who that is.
That's the quarterback that started for Ohio State all season. Exactly.
That's my point.
Yeah, exactly. So interesting. But look, thanks for watching, y'all. It's been a fun season. Even if we lose, we'll have a reaction pod, and we'll be continuing to cover the playoffs until the Super Bowl is over. So yeah, stick around. Hit the notification bell. Isaiah, thank you for taking time out of your evening. Even though your season is done, you're still taking time. Y'all, be good people.
Peace.